Hey guys, I should be in bed here. And I was gonna upload another video, and it was cool, but I don't know, I feel like I should record something now, and it's late. I was up late last night. I had a really good night actually, just listening to music. Music's been really good for me recently. Life's been kind of dramatic. I feel things deeply. Maybe I'm an empath. I don't think I'm an empath. I don't like that. But maybe under someone's definition. How many empaths are just like people with hypersensitive personality disorders? Anyways, that's not very nice. I don't think that's entirely accurate. Anyway, fun take. It's really in the music. I have pimple cream on my face. I don't like that. I always felt like I shouldn't bother with that. But and I guess I'm kind of vulnerable about this. This feels sensitive to me. But I kind of just don't give a fuck right now. And I feel like I want to speak to this kind of state that I'm in. I felt very vulnerable recently, and I think with life there's no way out of vulnerability, and I think we have this challenge of trying to escape our vulnerability, trying to escape our limitation, trying to escape impermanence, you know, and we end up in nihilism. We end up in these uncomfortable states of realizing that there's no way out of that, that we are bound to our limitation, we are bound to our humanity. And for me, it's really when I get into a relationship. It's really when I activate intimacy, and when I activate like that, like my attachment system. There's nothing quite like that to really fucking, you know, remind me that, hey buddy, you're not as grand as you think you are, and in this lovely sort of scheme of practicality and personal development and all this and that you like to hold dear, can all collapse in one go. And self-cohesiveness has been an interesting idea recently, and I notice how hard it is to keep like a stable sense of self, perhaps, and I'm speaking to my own experience, but I do think this is universal to an extent, where the self, it's not, the personality has a continuity to it. What do we recognize that is the same in a 5-year-old, but so that 5-year-old, we see them, and then they turn 25 years later. What is it that's the same there? What is the same essence, you know? Everything about that being, about that sort of entity before you has changed, even to the cellular level. But that recognition, that sort of identity, that idea which is there, I don't really know exactly what this had to do with self-cohesiveness, but I don't know, maybe I'm arguing for the soul or some sort of individuality here. We need some more Radiohead. That's an interesting thought, and I just noticed that finding what is important to us, and the whole work of actualization, of finding our purpose, of finding our own sort of importance, inspiration and capability towards life, and working towards that and devoting ourselves towards that, and feeling the genuine inspiration of, I don't know, that sort of necessity which flows through us for the sake of its own being, for the sake of its own sort of capability, and this is beyond need. This is beyond your need to have food, to have shelter, to have water, to have sex, to have love, to have social belonging. This is at the top of the pyramid, this sort of aspect. And I think it's these sorts of qualities that, like, because our self sort of forms, it's like a cutout, and at least in a typical psychodynamic sort of sense, the self sort of forms to adapt for its environment, and it picks up through the superego, essentially, you know, notions of what's right and what's wrong, what to wear. Like, look, I'm wearing a crop top right now. I don't wear this. This is a shirt that I use as a dust rag, and it's cut in half, but like, I wouldn't wear something like this. I just have it on now because I happen to like it. But that's not okay. That's not acceptable. But what is that genuine interest in me which is attracted? Like, what is that purpose in finding that and nurturing that and showing up for that and accessing that in life? Like, that, I guess Jung called it individuation, you know, where we put down our conditioning, we put down everything that isn't us, that we sort of picked up along the way. And it's interesting because I don't know where that comes from. I don't really know what I am beyond just a bunch of sort of conditions, beyond a bunch of just general beliefs and survival instincts. And when I get close to someone and I'm intimate with someone and there's these logistics, there's this sort of instincts that kick in, this sense of security and of containment and of connection with the other and of, God, I am enough, I am whole, I am confident, I care, I am communicative, I am explicit, I'm implicit, I'm available. And to feel that, and to just, it's like, how does this music feel? Like, to be in life, to feel the music of life, and to experience that, what am I getting at? And to feel the glory and the wholeness that we feel in love, but then to notice the challenge of logistics, the challenge of clinging, the challenge of desire, the challenge of that sense of trying to get away from our limitation. Because I think in love we touch divine eternity. This is my metaphysics. You know, I think in love, the reason why we say love is forever, love lasts forever, it has nothing to do with the people, it has nothing to do with who's involved, because you know what happens? God, it tears you away, you're gonna die. I'm sorry, my throat is giving out. I've been sick this week, and I have this terrible fucking throat, and I talk too much, and I'm social at my work, and I had to call with like 3 people tonight, because I don't want to say no, but I also want to, and I want to procrastinate, and I want to be social, and it's a Friday. Cut me some slack. God, the fucking in here, be practical. Like, I couldn't, oh god, go do homework. Like, it's fucking pissed off. It's a shit show around here. The alarm's blaring in here, but fuck, it's 11:47. I should have been asleep 2 hours ago. Here I am fucking blabbing to myself, and my computer's about to run out of storage space. So if you could excuse me 1 second to delete some other fucking videos, which are really just narcissistic cathexis that I use to self-eroticize myself and feel a little bit better. But God, isn't that what we're all doing to some extent? But then there I am generalizing and projecting my own sort of challenges onto other people as a means to sort of aggrandize myself out of personal responsibility and recognition. But even in that, unfortunately, I'm not perfect. Sorry, I'm being very self-reflective and a bit unnecessary. Okay, deleted a couple there. As you can tell, it's a little bit of a mood. It's hard for me to have boundaries in relationships, and I struggle with that because I can feel something so strongly, and my tendency is more towards codependence and preoccupation, where essentially when there's a sense of distance, when there's conflict in a relationship, my tendency is to want to get closer, to want to share more, to feel that sense of, let's think, let's come together, let's be closer. And what happens is, not everyone's like that. Some of us, what we do is we pull the other way and we get the fuck out of there, and we don't want to be anywhere near you, because when we engage with our feelings, when we talk about things, when we meet, we get hurt. We aren't met with acceptance. We are rejected, and that is too painful to face, so we turn the other way and we get the fuck out of there. And it creates for this lovely dance of when one pulls in this way and the other one gets the fuck out that way, and it's like, ah! So those dances, I don't know if you've ever been in one of those before. They're kind of like a typical relationship dynamic, and I think this is kind of the case with all relationships. It's on a spectrum. It's tough because we have to know what we can tolerate and what we can't, and I find making that call and really bringing myself into recognition and showing up for what's okay, what do I want out of this, and really keeping that sense of cohesiveness, keeping that sense of what do I want, what is important to me, and paying attention to, God, the basic survival necessities of I need to be loved, I need to be cared for, I need to